The National Broadcast Academy.
The training hub for broadcast professionals.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on another exciting edition of your one-stop show, Society Malice, on Stack 94.7 FM. A special program which educates us all, fathers, mothers, aunts, uncles, brothers, and every member of our community about the anomalies that happen in our neighborhoods and society. As a matter of fact, today's topic is a must-listen for everyone, just like all our previous editions which you've loved. Today, we'll be looking at an important societal issue that is fast becoming an ugly trend within family members. Incestuous relationships between fathers and daughters, mothers and sons, brothers and sisters, or siblings have never been more rampant than they are now. Every day, news of child molestation pops up on our media broadcasts. Girls raped and impregnated by their fathers are left to battle trauma, shame, and stigma from society. Having to care for offspring from this unholy union is another nightmare faced by such helpless girls. And this is your favorite program on the radio, Society Malice. Of course, as you know, it's a program in which we talk about various society ills and immoralities prevalent in our country. And I remain your beautiful host, Talub Malice. Today, we'll be looking at what is called incestuous relationship, in which some fathers sexually exploit their daughters. On today's program, we will talk about the trauma and other psychological stress suffered by the survivors of domestic sexual molestation. We will also educate the public on how to prevent sexual exploitations of the girl child. Before that, we would like to play a beautiful piece by Omawumi, If You Ask Me.
If you ask me, now who I go ask? The matter where we see, so we tell where it starts. No be big or talk, be heavy for mouth. If you ask me, the matter for ground, now who I go ask? If you ask me, now who I go ask? The matter where we see, so we tell where it starts. No be me go talk, be heavy for mouth. If you ask me, the matter for ground, now who I go ask? Begin. If you ask me, now who I go ask? No matter where we see, so we tell where it starts. No be big or talk, be heavy for mouth. Oh, if you ask me, no matter for ground, now who I go ask?
The National Broadcast Academy.
The training hub for broadcast professionals.
Still on the program Society Malice, and we are talking about sexual exploitative tendencies of some fathers towards their daughters, how to prevent it, and what actions are needed to avert such unwanted situations. Fathers are pillar of household. They are providers, protectors, and the first line of family defense against any adversaries. However, the rise in the incestuous acts being reported almost daily of fathers sexually exploiting, abusing, and raping their daughters, it's not only depressing but sickening. How would one fathom that someone whose children look up to for protection is now the one who turned against them by breaking the parental trust? We'll be using 2 or 3 cases reported in the media to buttress our points on the ugly trend of parental sexual molestation of their children. Alright, we'll go on a quick break. Please stay tuned. Good to have you back. And don't forget, this is TAC 94.7 FM and still on the program Society Malice. Captured by Punch on 6 July 2024 was a case reported by Mrs. Efreda, whose daughter Magdalene, a secondary school student at the time, was impregnated by her father. It happened one night on Friday when she went for a church vigil. According to her daughter's narration to her, she said her daughter Magdalene said her father climbed on her and defied her immediately she left for the vigil. When confronted with the proof, her husband ran away from the area and was nowhere to be found. Magdalene later got pregnant for her own father. As the medical procedure she underwent was not properly handled, she then had to relocate to Benin Republic to avoid being labeled, traumatized, and ridiculed by a community. You heard that right. What a pity for the young girl. This is one of the stories that highlights the psychological effects suffered by the victims of incestuous molestation in the community. Looking at another real-life case which happened in Bayelsa, was a 41-year man jailed for 17 years by a Bayelsa State High Court for raping and impregnating his daughter. This story was also captured by Punch. According to the newspaper, the convicted father was said to have replaced his deceased wife with his 14-year-old daughter, who was at the time in GSS 3, by sleeping with her on his matrimonial bed, while her 2 younger brothers were made to sleep on the floor. Wonders they say shall never end. Well, for our listeners, what do you think? And why would a father have to sleep with his child to satisfy his sexual urge? This is a taboo that shouldn't have happened in the first place. Whatever you think, you can drop a comment below on X at Talub_Amole, as we would like to have your thoughts on this important issue. According to the experts, incestuous relationship is frowned at in almost every culture. Efforts are needed to gear towards addressing this social disorder before it rears its ugly head into our society. One of the measures is for media houses to continue sensitizing parents on safeguarding the sanctity of parenthood by allowing the girl child privacy they needed. A father, for whatever reason, should not intrude into his daughter's privacy. 2. Governments should be proactive in enforcing laws on reported cases of child sexual abuses to deter other evil-minded parents. Let's take some comments on our social media platforms. At Oluwaseun says, this is a taboo that shouldn't be happening in our society. Fathers should be protectors, not predators. And says, #justice for survivors. At Blessing Survivor, she said, I am a survivor of parental sexual molestation and it is a trauma that stays with you forever. We need to create a space for victims to share their stories without fear of judgment. And she writes #break the silence. At Johnny Doe says, what's wrong with our society? Why are fathers turning against their own daughters? We need to hold perpetrators accountable and provide support for survivors. #end child abuse. Another one reads, at Tunde T says, inside life. Now wow. Another comment coming from a nurse says, as a nurse, I have seen firsthand the devastating effects of parental sexual molestation on children. We need to provide more resources and support for survivors, including counseling and medical care. And the last comment I will take on today's show is coming from a teacher. Art teacher Emeka writes, "We need to incorporate comprehensive sex education in our school curricula to prevent child abuse and promote healthy relationships. Let's work together to create a safer, more informed society." Sexual molestation is becoming a menace that requires collective actions from you and me. This concludes today's program. Today's discussion has been a roller coaster for everyone in our society, parents, children, and the government. We believe our listeners have learned valuable lessons from today's program. Our children are treasures given to us by God, and we shouldn't mismanage or abuse them in any form. The program was produced and packaged by Talub and Malice. Until next week, have a wonderful weekend.
The National Broadcast Academy.
The training hub for broadcast professionals.
Begin if you ask me. Now who I go ask? No matter where we see, so we tell it starts. No be me the talker, be heavy for mouth. Oh, if you ask me, no matter for ground. Now who I go ask? Oh, the woman travel leave her daughter with the husband home alone. Hey, you know say I think you see the man is daughter and then they play strongly. Yeah, a month later the daughter say her period delay. I ask her who judge her, she say her daddy only. I don't know what to say, I don't know what to tell her mother. He be like say she gets a ballet. If you ask me, now who I go ask? No matter where we see, so it always starts. No be me the talker, be heavy for mouth. Oh, if you ask me, no matter for ground. Hey, now who I go ask? Oh, hey, now who I go ask? Hey, the story where I talk it be like say I did play, but all this type of things they happen every day. Speak out or take some action, I beg you no delay. No make matters worse past as a day, if you